Kendra, and this is Hooked by Happenstance Makes Monday, episode number 20, I think. Untangled. Untangled. You would think that meant that I, like, untangled something or took, you know, some big mess, yarn, barf, whatever. No, that's not the reason this week. Anyways, the first and main thing that I worked on this week was my mom's blue cardigan. This is, as you will remember, the Caribri cardigan pattern from the Velvet Acorn. I am using a size J 6.0 millimeter hook and this lovely mystery yarn from a mill and bag from Joann's. The body of the sweater and like the majority of it is now done. I actually have completed the entirety of the body, split for the sleeves, did the little increase, and then all the way to the bottom, including the bottom edging. Now, I have joined on my yarn and I'm just starting the first of the button bands. I have a little bit to go on that, and then I have one more button band and sleeves, and that's it. So I really am nearing the end on this project, which, as you will notice, in my usual fashion, means that this project is going to get worked on far less, because apparently, in general, I don't like endings. I don't like projects to end either, so I'm just going to keep, like, slow playing this one. My mom's birthday has come and gone, so it's not like that's a big deal, but I will get this done in probably the next week, and then hopefully get it off to her before Halloween. So that's kind of my goal on that, and it's living in my my flamingo bag, which I love this bag. It has made an awesome purse all summer since I've been using it, and I use my handle a lot, and I really like the way it looks, so it makes me very, very happy. That is the first thing. The other thing that got a decent amount of love this week here and there is my Yarn Fairy baby blanket. This is based on the increase pattern in the Who's Your Cutie. Yes, Who's Your Cutie, the like owly blanket, baby blanket pattern from the Red Heart website. But I'm not doing any of the owly stuff. I'm just basically using their stitch progression and their use of the front post double crochets. And this is using a size 7 4.5 millimeter hook and a bunch of yarn, baby yarn, that I've been yarn fairied. So I had already had the blue and I had most of the white, but I did add, I think, a couple of rows of the white. I'd actually gotten sick of the creamy whitish yellow, and I was going to stop and switch to this bluey green and then go back to the white. And I still probably am, but I was going to stop sooner, even though I had a ball, and this is what's now left of it. But this ball had been bigger, and I was going to stop because I was just done doing white. It just was no longer fun for me. But then I took this out at the soccer game on Sunday, and the white was still attached. And I was like, you know, this has gone and sat in its bag for long enough that I no longer dislike the white. So I kept going with the white, and I think I'm happy with that decision. So I am going to finish out this ball to whatever portion, you know, it gets me a full round. And then I'm going to switch to this greeny blue, and then we'll see if I go back to more of the creamy white, because I do have more of that, or I have this this baby yellow, which is also an option. So those are all just kind of hanging out in my bag, waiting to see my feelings on that. And this bag also has been making me, it's just like just the perfect size for this pattern, or for this, yeah, for these skeins of yarn. So I have those like 2 smaller skeins of baby yarn as well as the blanket all in this. And this is one of my medium bags. Though this one is a slightly different size than what I ordinarily sell. This is one of the bags that I used when I was testing what were like my perfect sizes. And so I made, out of this exact same fabric, I made like 3 of these medium bags, and each one had a different wedge size for the bottom. So this is a slightly wider wedge, which I actually prefer the size that I ultimately settled on, but this works fine for this kind of project. But when I use worsted weight, I do like the slightly bigger bag. But that's really neither here nor there. Just something that's popping in my head. The other project that I worked on this week, I was going through my office kind of I was going to try and, you know, pick up some of the projects that I've had in Freaker Frogs and be like, okay, Kendra, you need to, like, finish something. And I also had, that's right, this is the thing that made it stick out to me. I had a crate, and in it I had thrown these cloud dishcloths that I had. And I sell these sometimes in sets with rainbow, like a rainbow assortment, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And this makes 7, so a dishcloth a day for a week. I call them a week full of rainbows dishcloth sets. And I've done those for a while, but I didn't really have it in me to make the rainbow dishcloths. They weren't calling my name, but I wanted to get these out of my space, and I didn't just want to throw them in my for sale box without them being fully in sets, because you know what, they were just going to go and hang out and they're like this, and they'd come back into my office and we're just going to keep playing this game. So I decided to do something else with them. So I had a bunch of rainbow yarn in cotton yarn. I've kind of amassed a pretty big collection of cotton yarn, all of it like standard peaches and cream, but I find that to be like a good workhorse yarn and a good yarn for sale items because it's inexpensive. I know people can wash it a bunch and it's going to stay in good condition and all that. So I started working this up. It's just half double crochets. And I'm making, like, I don't know if it's a blanket. It's definitely soft and light enough that you could use as a blanket or maybe as like a rug, like a mat. It's only single strand, so like I wouldn't necessarily use it as like a bath mat or something, but you could probably put it on your bathroom floor. So right now I'm at the red stripe and the orange, and I'm basically going to do like the full rainbow. And these 4 clouds are going to be embroidered up along the edge of the rainbow at the end. So that's kind of a stash buster of yarn, as well as using up some things that I already have made. And also rainbows just make me really happy. And I haven't made anything rainbowed in a little bit, I don't think. But I like making things that are rainbows. So I'm going to make this because it was, yeah, it was what I wanted to make. The day I made it, it was like, this made me so happy. In fact, I made it, and I've made it, as you can see, my chain, I haven't unchained it yet. It had been this much longer, and that was, I decided, too long. Even though when I gauge swatched it, it was going to be the right length, it then turned out to be the wrong length, so I had to fix that. And I pulled it all out. I probably had 5 or 6 rows all the way in at that length, and I frogged the whole thing, started over, and now I'm this far. So that has been an enjoyable project. Like, more enjoyable than making dishcloths would have been, but it's still kind of a similar, like, mindless, fun activity. And with that, I'm using a K 6.5mm hook. I'm trying to do like a bit of mixing up the hook sizes just because I think that's good for my hands. And good for my brain to kind of, you know, mix it up, not get bored with things. And then there's one more thing that I'm working on, and I actually started it tonight. You know, I said that today I had been looking at sweater patterns, and I just could not, like, settle on something. Excuse me. Well, it has gotten cooler here, and I want more sweaters. And I have yarn for sweaters. And I have a bunch of yarn that I've been yarn fairied. Some yarn fairies of mine have given me yarn that is perfectly acceptable to make things for sale or for other people. Especially my husband's coworker, who is an expert knitter. The yarn that she yarn fairied me is not going to anybody else. Most of it has a wool content, first of all, so that, depending on the stuff, like some of it's commercial wool that could be washed and would not be a problem. But some of it, is things like Cascade 220, and there's even some nicer wools, like LYS type of wools, that I would not let somebody else have because, well, they're mine. So this, I have a whole bunch of this I Love This wool, which I guess is discontinued at this point. It was a Hobby Lobby yarn, 93% wool, 7% polyamide, and it was $5.99 a skein when she got it. Now, I guarantee you, knowing her, that she did not pay $5.99 a skein. She definitely bought this somewhere else that it was much less because she is good with the bargains. And I have a lot of these. Like, I have enough. It looks like somebody bought enough of this to make an Afghan. So that will definitely make a sweater to cover my person. So I was looking and looking for patterns for multiple different types of yarn today, but I ultimately settled on, I saw this in the drawer, I was like, oh my goodness, hello fall, and I've been sewing fall bags all day today, and so this is like the color scheme that my brain was like, ooh boy, I want to wear this. So I eventually found, through Yarnspirations, a free pattern. I was looking to pay for a pattern. I looked through all the interweave crochet patterns. I looked through all the patterns on Annie's. I looked on Ravelry. Nothing was just kind of even in the realm of what I wanted. And so I eventually settled on this free pattern called the Over Easy Cowl Neck. So it's going to be like super simple. The cowl neck, and then there's a little bit of like accent ribbing on the arms that says it's done in half double crochet. Otherwise, it's just a super simple stitch. But I don't usually like high-necked things on me, but I think the cowl neck will be like squishy and fun, and I have enough yarn to do that. So I am this far, and I just started this tonight, actually, just a little before Steve went to work. So this is just the ribbing bit. And I'm very happy with how the colors are working up. And it's just got a really nice texture. It's nice and springy. If anything, I'm probably going to end up making this sweater a little too big for me. And that's okay. I'm really aiming on the larger side rather than the smaller side with this particular sweater. Because I want it to be like super oversized and comfy. I want there to be zero risk that I end up with a sweater that's like fitted. Because I also would like this to be something where I can layer things underneath it as it gets colder. Especially with the fiber content in this, this could stand to be a very nice warm piece for me. And this, I'm also using a J 6.0 millimeter hook because I have two J tulip hooks. It's the only tulip hook I have two of the same size in, and I wish I had more. But yeah, this one I have two because this is the first tulip hook I got back when they used to still sell them like in the store. And then, yeah, I didn't realize how much I loved this particular hook. I just didn't give in to how much I loved this. For a long time, I would make things with a J, like, if I possibly could, just because I loved this hook so much. Then I finally found the set that I bought of my full set of the tulip hooks. And I really need to buy myself another one. That might be something I get for my birthday coming up here. That might be something I ask for. So, working on that. And then this week I have finished exactly one crocheted item, and it is also something that I started this week. All the things that I have that are kind of like, they're not even active whips, but that are whips in my life, I started and finished something new. And everyone should be proud. As soon as I finished this, I immediately wove in the ends, which is very unlike me, and I should not get used to it because it probably will not happen again. So what I made is this beanie here. It is the Frozen Snowflakes beanie. That is what it looks like. Now my plan, I've made this beanie before out of chunky yarn, and it calls for fingering. So this time I decided, kind of in my plan to kind of remake some patterns I've done before and not necessarily done correctly, or now that my skills have improved, I want to do some of those projects again, kind of like I did the chrysanthemum shawl. So I wanted to make another Frozen Snowflakes beanie because I've been wearing the chunky one. I was like, okay, gotta make a fingering weight one. And I had a bunch of Red Heart, Heart and Soul, and that is what this is. This is actually a skein of Heart and Soul that did not have the wrapper on it anymore because I've tried using it for a couple of things and I've never liked what I did, so I always forget it wrapped back up. Well, with that, the way it was wrapped, you couldn't really see a lot of green on the outside of the skein. I knew there was green in it, so I knew it would match with the Lion brand woolies that I had won in a giveaway a couple years ago. So I decided to put the two together. Well, turns out that the variegated skein had a lot more green than I realized, so you really can't see my snowflakes very much. You can kind of tell there's a pattern in there, but you can't tell what it is. But that's okay. I still like the way it looks, and I will try it on for you in a second. But more importantly, I wanted to show you the inside. So this is Fair Isle Crochet, which is a color work technique that involves carrying your yarn on the inside of your hat. So look at how nice my floats are. Now, my previous version of this hat, I never will show anybody the inside because it is a mess. It is a terribly warm hat because there is that, you know, that double layer of yarn all the way around. But my floats are so nice. I was so happy. I kept everything untangled, which is also part of the reason why this went on my hook on, is also part of the reason why this went on my hook on Saturday. Because I finished it yesterday, which was Sunday. So I started it Saturday night, and then it just like obsessed my little brain. It was all I wanted to work on as far as crafting. So I just focused on that, worked on that, and then the next day I finished it. Because I also didn't want to like put it in a bag and have it get all, you know, with the 2 balls of yarn and all the stuff. But I definitely learned the technique in doing this one of how to hold my yarn and the top yarn and bottom yarn and all that. So here is, let's see if I can get it on. Here is what it looks like. And I actually did not use the brim pattern that comes with the, like in the pattern is supposed to do this, like basically make squares of color where you like alternate the two. Well, first of all, you can't see it because of the color choices I used. And second of all, I think it looks really juvenile. Like the hat pattern is scaled from baby hat all the way through an adult. And the person pictured wearing the hat is a small child, and it looks great on them, but I just did not think it was appropriate. And it also, like, I kind of did a couple rounds of it, and I didn't like the way that the particular edging fit. So I actually just went and did my own. I just single crocheted for a while, and then I did, then I flipped and I went the opposite direction a little bit, and I had gone down a hook size when I did the brim, and I also then threw in a round of half double crochet and then one more of single crochet. So it is, the half double crochet row is what helps it to like fold up, which I like, because I feel like if it's flat, it's a little, I don't know. I like it better when it's a little folded up. And I used the entire skein of the Heart and Soul, and I still have actually quite a bit of the woolies left, so I will be able to use that, or sockies, not woolies, of the Line Brand sockies left. So I will be able to use that in, I don't know, something else, maybe another snowflake hat. We'll see. There will definitely be another one of these in my future, out of some different yarn that has better contrast. Probably another solid and a variegated, but they will be vastly different. I have a lot of options to choose from, so I am looking forward to wearing this more as the winter progresses. It is warm but still kind of light feeling, which I think is a nice little addition to what I have as far as, you know, stuff that I can wear. I have been wearing a lot of my different fibery things as it's been getting cooler, and that has been really fun. I feel bad for people that don't make stuff and can't wear their own things, because it is fun to wear pride all over yourself. It's exciting. So that is that. And notably, if you are interested in seeing things that I've made that I now wear, number one, I have been wearing them in my daily life, so they show up in the daily vlogs. I don't usually talk about what I have on, but if you have questions ever, leave them in comments. And I did publish this week the video of all the big things that I made this summer. So Steve and I were able to, on his days off, there was finally a day where the weather and the lighting and our schedule all aligned for me to do the little try-on video. And so that was fun. So that is on Hooked by Happenstance right here if you would like to see that and see the full versions of all the clothes that I've showed you, like little bits and pieces, what I can hold up in front of a camera. So I'm doing the same thing. That goes up through basically when fall began, and I'm putting aside the full-size garments, or at least taking note of them, and come the new year, end of winter, or beginning of winter, so at the end of December, I will film another one that has all of the big items that I do this quarter of the year. I think it's an interesting way to look at things. So also, as I mentioned, I've done a ton of sewing this week. I did do an update for my Etsy shop that had fall, and I also started doing some drawstring bags. There's some fall and winter themed drawstring bags. If you'd like to check out the Etsy shop, there's a link in the description box below. YouTube has now changed it so I cannot link on the screen to my Etsy shop. So if you want to go check it out down there. There will be another update coming this week. Follow me on Instagram at HookedByHappenstance. I will post there when the update goes live. It will be some beautiful fall bags. And I will probably try and put an update video here on this channel so that you can see what they look like, as well as some of the other bags. I know I haven't been doing the update videos of my bags. If you're interested in those, let me know. I wasn't sure. But if people want to see them, I will definitely make them. I just have not been. So I'll probably do a little bit of a look, here's some things that you may have missed, and here is the new updates that will be coming out this week. So keep your eyes here and on Instagram. I hope you all had a great week and that your life and your yarn has all remained untangled. And I will see you next time. Bye!